What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got this GT350 in the garage and up on the lift. By lift I mean, so we got it up on the lift. So we got this car GT350. Gonna be doing a whole host of things to this. We got a Hellion TwinTurbo kit that we're gonna be throwing on. This is the bottom mount kit, so this goes onto the car. We got a whole fuel system with rails, injectors. Gonna be doing oil pump gears, boost controller. What else we got? Fuel system stuff. We got some engine mounts. Yeah. Got my son's Mustang there, turbo. If anybody wants smoke, you could get it. So yeah, Hellion TwinTurbo. We got the pipes, intercooler, hardware, clamps, stuff like that. So it's probably going to be a long video for this one. I might cram everything into one video, or I might split it up. I'm not sure yet. I'll see how it goes. But yeah, beautiful car, GT350. So this is the 5.2 Voodoo. This is not the Coyote. Very similar to the Coyote. It's based off the Coyote, but this one is a 5.2 liter flat plane Voodoo. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking this apart and then start throwing the parts on. So let's jump right into the video. All right, so we got the stock manifolds off, and we got the Hellion manifolds here. Very similar. Few little differences. I see maybe like two little major differences that I noticed. So if you look here on the stock one, it's like a 4 into 3. So right here at the collector, you have 1, 2, 3 pipes going into the collector. For this cylinder here, it joins into this one, and then it goes into, so it's 4 to 3 into 1. Where this is a true 4 into 1 collector, they have each runner, or each cylinder has its own runner, and it's going into the collector. That's going to be better for flow and should be better for reducing back pressure, because you're not stuffing two cylinder flow into one pipe. So that should be better for flow and back pressure. Second difference I see is on the driver's side. So the manifold, same thing, 4 into 1 versus 4-3-1. But the difference is on this adapter here, they rotated it, looked like counterclockwise a bit. So if you look, the bolt is more right now perpendicular or horizontal to the floor. This one is more up and down. So I see that difference. And then also I noticed, not a big deal, but if you look at the bolt pattern, you're gonna be like, oh my god, they sent me the wrong manifold, if you don't know. So these are made for this is the GT bolt pattern for the head, and then this is the GT350, and I believe the GT500 uses this same bolt pattern. However, they do have the holes there on the head where you could take the stud out and put the studs in these locations, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. But the same thing on both sides. So that's the GT bolt pattern, and then that's the GT350, GT500, but you are able to change it on the cylinder head itself. I'll go under the car right now and show you guys what I mean about that. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. If you look at the head, right here, you have different holes that are already drilled and threaded. So all you have to do is just remove the stud and put it in the in the other hole to match up the bolt pattern. So you can change the head from the GT350/GT500 bolt pattern and put it to the Coyote bolt pattern. So I got to do that, put on the new gaskets, and then I can start putting on the turbo manifolds. Let's jump into that. They also provide new gaskets in the kit, new gaskets with the correct bolt pattern, so you can use the gasket to help you to line up where to put the studs. If you look, so the bolt pattern is different compared to the GT350 ones. So yeah, new gaskets, and you can use that to help you to pull to see where the studs go in the head. The kit also comes with these bunks, which are for the oxygen sensor, because now the oxygen sensor have to go in the downpipe after the turbo. So you put these bunks where the stock oxygen sensor would go, and do that before you put the manifold on, because I believe one of these are really hard to get to after you put the manifold. So just put these in before you put the manifold on. Let's go ahead and throw these on the car. Alright, so we got all the studs swapped over. We got the turbo manifolds in. Fitment is pretty good because it's, like I said, it's very similar to the stock one. Only difference is you have a true 4-into-1 runner. So fitment is good on both sides, and we have both of them installed. These are the bungs that I was talking about for the oxygen sensor. See how close it is to the transmission? So you want to make sure you install those before you put the header on, because you're going to have trouble installing it after. I did go ahead and also put on the adapters for the turbo. That's the passenger side, and then that's the driver's side. All of these hardware come in the kit, so you install these. Also come with new gaskets. So let's go ahead and see if we could fit the turbos on here and how they look. So we have the turbos here with all the hardware and stuff. What I'm gonna do is loosen up all the bolts, so that way I could rotate the turbos. So once I put them up to check fitment, I could align them, and then I'll be able to tighten these back, because I'm pretty sure they're not set right now in the way they need to go. I already tested them. So I'm just gonna loosen up both on the exhaust side and on the compressor side. I'm gonna loosen up the bolts, so that way I'll be able to rotate and line up the turbos as I need to. They are identical, so there's not a left or a right side. Once I line it up and I get everything where I believe I need to be, I'm gonna go ahead and install the drain line and the feed line and all of that stuff. But I just want to line it up first to see where they're gonna be more or less. Alright, so I got both turbos mounted up more or less where they're gonna be. Nothing is tight, so I'm able to rotate and move as I need to, because I still gotta line up the intercooler piping, still gotta line up the drain and the feed. But I just have the turbos mounted now where they more or less where they're gonna reside. So now I could throw on the drain, I could throw on the feed lines, kind of get that stuff situated. I might throw on the intercooler piping just so I can have an idea more or less where these need to be before I can actually tighten them back up and get everything secure in the location where it needs to be. But yeah, making some progress. That's how we looking right now. So I got the intercooler out of the box. I'm gonna go ahead and put the intercooler on. That's gonna help me with the alignment of the turbo, so that way I could finalize and kind of snug up everything on the turbo side. I want to make sure I put the pipes and everything, so that way if I have to move the compressor housing, I can move it before I tighten anything. Once you get the intercooler out of the box, remember to put the MAF sensor from your stock airbox. Take that out, and you want to go ahead and put that in the intercooler. It only goes one way. The screw holes only line up one way. For this one, I had to drill the holes just a little bit because they weren't aligned correctly. So I had to drill it just a little bit so the screws could line up. No big deal. So yeah, let's go ahead and throw the intercooler on. Before we throw the intercooler, I'm gonna have to go ahead and remove all of these plastics. Got some 8mm screws here, and then got some clips there. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of this air duct. Intercooler is gonna go in this general area. Once I get this removed, I'll show you guys what's up with the bracket and stuff like that. So we got the intercooler mounted up. Got a mounting bracket right there. Second one right there. Looking from the inside. MAF sensor plugged in. And then on this side, on the lower, We got the bracket supplied. This bracket was supplied in the kit. So you remove the factory one, which is this one, and then you install this one, and it that's pretty much how it's gonna look installed. And you install this one. It comes with spacers, you can see right there, and with longer hardware. And that's pretty much how that one's gonna look from the lower side. And then again at the top, you have to remove the clips here that hold the harness, because it's gonna interfere with the intercooler. So pretty much that's everything there that we removed: the clips, the bolts, these two brackets, supported brackets which go here, and that's how we're looking. So now I could go ahead and run the pipes, just run them so I could get a better idea of where everything is gonna line up, and I could line up the turbo compressor housing. So let me go ahead and get the pipes here for the intercooler. So I got the pipes ran, more or less just in place. Got a little bracket there on both sides, and they're more or less in place of where they need to be. So that way I'll be able to line up the compressor housing for where they need to be, and then I'll be able to tighten up the bolts to lock them back in place. I also did the return with the little adapter here, and then the fittings into one, and then the one line into the pump that's gonna pump it back into the valve cover. I'll go up top. When I go up top, I'll show you guys more about the pump and the bracket. Well, this is how we're looking for now. I also have the feed line ran. Let's see if I can go this way. So I got feed line on one side, feed line on the other side, and then they come into one right there in the union, and then from here that's gonna go onto that side. I believe we're gonna get the oil feed from the oil pressure sensor that's right there. And then this right here is how we're looking with the pipe. I will say it's pretty good fitment for everything. Everything is pretty good fitment so far. Haven't had any fitment issues. Very tight clearances, but everything seems to fit really, really well. But yeah, that's how we're looking for right now. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna line up these, make sure everything is lined up properly with these, and then I could tighten, little man, and then I could tighten up the housings, throw the wastegates on, should be able to put the downpipes on and stuff like that. So we got the pump here. It uses 3 bolts, so one here into this idler, one here into the front cover, and then the lower one here into the tensioner. And then that this is the line from the return, from the 2 lines under the bottom from the T that comes in, and then it's gonna pump that into the oil cap, where the oil cap is, and I have to run the other line from here over to there. So that's that setup. Not too bad. It's pretty easy to set up once you follow the instructions. Just have to assemble everything. Assemble the pump to the bracket, and then the bracket to the front cover. So yeah, looking good, making some progress. I'm gonna keep chucking away at it. Got the intercooler on, looking sinister. Got the intercooler pipe sitting there. Like I say, everything fits so far. Everything fits really well, really tight. Haven't had to make any adjustment to anything yet, so let's keep chopping away. So oil feed we're gonna get from the oil sensor right there. Honestly, it would have been easier to take the sensor out when you have the manifold out. I kind of missed that step. So we're gonna remove that sensor, and then we're gonna put a fitting in there so we could get oil feed for the turbos. That's right behind the alternator on the driver's side. So I got the oil sensor out, oil pressure sensor, and then I got the fittings that were supplied by Hellion. This is basically how it's gonna go. So you got this new fitting. It's gonna go into the block where the oil pressure sensor was. That's the one with the O-ring. Then attached to that, you're gonna have this short line. Attached to the short line, you're gonna have this T. Then you're gonna have this fitting with the sensor attached to this side of the T. And then you have the feed for the turbos with the line supplied. So that's basically how it's gonna look once everything is set up. So first I'm gonna go ahead and get this into the block, and then I could put the other stuff on there. So I got the oil sensor with the fitting and everything set up. That's how it's looking with the oil feed. Also went ahead and put on the blow-off valves. They go right here. They do have two seals that go in between the pipe and the blow-off valve. I'll drop a picture right now of how that looks. Yeah, so make sure you put that seal in on both sides. And this is how we're looking on this side with the blow-off valve. Did also get the wastegate in. The wastegates also, they do have firing rings that go in between the wastegate and the adapter. So make sure you install the firing ring also into the wastegate, or you're gonna have issues with that. Wastegate downpipe. This is where you're gonna put the oxygen sensor now, the new oxygen sensor. The one that was up in the manifold that you put the bung. This is where the new one goes. So I got the wastegate, got the dump tube there. Wastegate on this side, driver's side, and then the bung for the wastegate, for the oxygen sensor on this side. Dump tube there. So again, same thing, everything fits really nice, tight fit, but everything fits really well. This is the feed and the return. The feed going to the oil pressure sensor, and the return is going to the pump that's going to pump it back into the valve cover. So yeah, looking good right now. I'm gonna keep chucking away. I'm gonna actually now I could put the rest of the exhaust, tighten up everything. I was lining these up, so now I could tighten that up and keep chugging away. But everything is looking good right now. Alright, so we got exhaust fully in. Fits really well, just like everything else with the kit. We got everything tightened up. The dumps, wastegate. We got vacuum lines ran with some heat protection because they are close to the exhaust. Oxygen sensors are in. You're gonna need extenders for the oxygen sensor. They do come with the kit. On this specific kit, it's a GT350. The oxygen sensor extenders they sent were for like the 2018 style Mustang. So I had to get some different extenders, but they do send them with the kit. So everything there is looking good. Let's go up top and take a look. Up top, got everything back together. Got the manifold, intercooler pipe, got a fat fab catch can there. All the fluids and everything are in. So we're gonna go ahead and prime the oil system, because remember we had the oil pump and all of that off. We had the fuel fully disconnected. Oh, I didn't show you guys the fuel system. I added a 4 Innovation fuel system. So we got the fuel line feed right there, then it crosses over in the back, comes to this rail, and then it returns to the regulator right there. Got the hob switch and the regulator right there. return at the bottom of the regulator going back to the tank. For the fuel lines, I got those ran right there, inner fender well. Once I put the cover back on, you won't be able to see that. Can't really see the lines here, which is a good thing. And then underneath, so I have all the fuel lines and everything ran right here, pretty much right next to all the brake lines. Goes here and then it goes up into the tank, and then this cover goes there, and it's gonna cover and protect all of that. And then let's look inside. So inside we got the fore hat with the feed and the return. We got all the lines. I'm gonna strap, once I'm done, I'm gonna strap everything up, make it look really nice. Put the factory hat back on there, cover it up. We got the lines for the fuel pump running here under the carpet to the front to the battery, and then the fork controller, we have that here at the back of the seat, so that's out of the way. But if you need to access it, you can flip the seat down and you'll be able to access the controller. And then we have enough slack on the wires so that could flip down and up. We had to tap into the fuel pump controller to get a signal. So all of that is done. Fuel system is in with some ID, I believe there were ID 1700 injectors. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and prime the fuel system, and then we could crank this baby up. So that's gonna be it for this install video, guys. Everything is all done. We got everything back together on the car. Car is running great. So we're gonna hand it over to the owner, and he's gonna finish the data login with Lund so he could get the tune dialed in. Overall, it was a fairly easy kit to install. Wasn't a lot of issues, barely any issues. Wasn't any fitment issues either. Everything there was fit pretty good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.